A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a historic moment for Brazil, the Supreme Court is set to begin its sessions today regarding the trial of former President Jair Bolsonaro, who stands accused of attempting to overturn the results of the 2022 presidential election. This case marks the first time a former Brazilian president faces coup charges, a scenario that has drawn international attention and ignited fierce debates within the nation. Bolsonaro, who lost to leftist rival Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva, is facing serious allegations that could lead to over 40 years in prison if convicted. The trial has become a focal point of contention, not only within Brazil, but also in its relations with the United States, particularly with former President Donald Trump, who has publicly denounced the proceedings as a witch hunt. As the Supreme Court convenes, 5 judges will determine the fate of Bolsonaro and 7 co-defendants, including former ministers and military generals. The court's decision is expected by September 12th, and the atmosphere surrounding the trial is charged with tension. Bolsonaro, currently under house arrest, will not be present in court for the verdict, as confirmed by his attorney. This trial is not just a legal proceeding. It is a significant test of Brazil's democracy, 40 years after the end of a military dictatorship. Supporters of Bolsonaro view the trial as a politically motivated attack, while opponents argue that it is a necessary step to uphold democratic values. The trial's implications extend beyond Brazil's borders, as Trump's involvement has raised alarms. He has imposed a 50% tariff on various Brazilian exports, further straining relations between the two nations. The U.S. Treasury has also sanctioned the presiding judge, Alexander de Moraes, a figure who has become a target of disdain among Bolsonaro's supporters. The accusations against Bolsonaro are grave. Prosecutors allege that he led a criminal organization aimed at preventing Lula from taking office. They claim that his actions, including attacks on Brazil's electronic voting system, were designed to discredit the election results. Following his defeat, Bolsonaro is accused of planning to declare a state of emergency and call for new elections, a move that ultimately failed due to a lack of military support. Additionally, there are accusations that he was aware of a plot to assassinate Lula and other key figures, although this plan was reportedly abandoned. Bolsonaro has vehemently denied all charges, portraying himself as a victim of political persecution. As the trial progresses, Judge Moraes will summarize the evidence presented, followed by closing arguments from both the prosecution and defense. The judges will then vote on whether to convict or acquit the former president and his co-defendants. If found guilty on all 5 counts, Bolsonaro could face a staggering 43 years in prison, although he retains the right to appeal the verdict to the full Supreme Court. His allies are hopeful for an amnesty law that could circumvent a prison sentence, indicating that the political battle is far from over. The trial has prompted heightened security measures around the Supreme Court, a precautionary step given the violent protests that erupted on January 8, 2023, when Bolsonaro's supporters stormed government buildings in Brasilia, demanding military intervention against Lula. As Brazil stands at a crossroads, the outcome of this trial could have far-reaching consequences for its political landscape and democratic institutions. The world watches closely as the Supreme Court deliberates on the fate of a former leader, and the integrity of Brazil's democracy hangs in the balance. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.